What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ron back with DFS Greatness. I'm here to give you great lineups, great picks. Let's have a great night. If you like my page, you like the content, you like what you see, just hit that notification, subscribe to my channel, and just hit that bell, man. The content is there. Let's get to it. Um, Also, I want to give a thanks to one of my sponsors for DFS Greatness. iDrive 615. If you're ever in the Nashville, Tennessee area looking for a ride, why not call iDrive 615 at 615-638-0613. Let's get to it. We're gonna break down the quarterbacks and the quarterbacks I like for each price. And let's get to it, man. You got Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, 7,000, 6,800. Do not like them today. I don't like them at all. But the quarterbacks that I like is Kyler Murray. It's 6,700 going against the New York Giants, fourth worst defense overall. They give up the fourth most fantasy points to quarterbacks. And this guy has been rushing like crazy. 10 rushes, one game, 11 rushes, so 21 rushes last two games. Like him a lot, man. Giants have gave up 3 rushes touchdowns to quarterbacks. I think he's in a fantastic matchup. The Giants' defense is not that good, but the Giants also got their whole team back. But at the end of the day, man, Kyler Murray been playing fantastic, man. Got rushing upside at 6,700. I think it's a fantastic price for him. And also another quarterback I like too. I do like Russell Wilson, man. He's is matchup proof. 6,600 going against Baltimore. The defense is not that good. So if you did pay the 6,600 for him, I do not see the wrong with playing that price for him. If you want to go get him, definitely want to get Lockett and line up with them two together. And the quarterback at 6,500, Josh Allen going against the Miami Dolphins, the worst defense overall, and give up the most points to quarterbacks. Last two games against Miami, Josh Allen has rushed for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keep that in mind. He do got rushing upside. He's averaging 18.3 fantasy points a game and rushing about 8.2 times a game. Miami defense has given up 16 touchdowns and the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So right now they're terrible, and also they're giving up 3.3 fantasy points per drive. So that's very, very terrible. Miami defense is terrible. They tanking. They trying to get top pick. They couldn't even beat the Redskins last week. So, that's another quarterback I like. And you got 6,400 A-Rod. He's not going to have half his weapons. I think Adams already out. Geronimo Allison, I think he's already ruled out too. Valdez Scanglin, he's questionable, so he's really going to have a lot on him. Probably going to be more Jamal Williams, and Aaron Jones. So both of those guys probably be good plays. And Matt Ryan, man, Matty Ice, he's on fire right now. With Atlanta Falcons defense is so terrible, he's putting up like ridiculous numbers, like MVP type of numbers. But their team is just so terrible right now. Going against the Rams for the 14th worst defense overall, he's averaging 27.4 fantasy points a game. Definitely like him going against Jared Goff. It should be a shootout tomorrow. Do not see the run. It's gonna be a shootout, both the teams, because they did made a trade. They picked up Jalen Ramsey. He's probably gonna be shadowing Julio Jones tomorrow. So you got to look for guys like Sanu, really Austin Hooper. Definitely want to get those guys in the game. If he do shut down, Julio, Matt Ryan do got a good offense. And another quarterback I like for tomorrow, I like Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is in a fantastic matchup tomorrow going against Atlanta. Their defense is not good at all. Third worst defense overall and give it the second most points to quarterbacks. And Atlanta cannot stop quarterbacks at all. Passing, they are terrible. The defense is terrible. And last week he had 2 fantasy points, but he played against a pretty good defense with San Francisco 49ers. And Jared Goff is averaging 16.6 fantasy points a game. And I feel like this will be a bounce back game for Jared Goff. They got pretty down a 3-game losing streak. I know it's not going to be a 4th losing streak against Atlanta. So I feel like he will have a rebound game tomorrow. And he's a better price tag on DraftKings and FanDuel. It's a little bit cheaper on DraftKings. I like the price on DraftKings. And also, you got Daniel Jones going against Arizona. Defense not good at all. They got Patrick Peterson coming back, but it's just one person, so you still need a team to win. I definitely like Daniel Jones at the $61 price tag. And another quarterback I like too at 5,600 is Jacoby Brissett going against the Texans. 11 worst defense overall, 7 most points to quarterbacks. He is a top 10 play tomorrow, averaging 18.8 fantasy points a game with a 4.8 rush attempt rate, and has scored multiple touchdowns in all but one game this year. Jacoby Brissett, definitely like him. I think he's a fantastic play tomorrow. Very good play on DraftKings, 5,600. Definitely going to have him in some GPP lineups tomorrow. And I told you guys last week to go get Minshew. I thought he was going to have a good game against the Saints, but, they played good defense. Sean Payton said in the interview that they probably would never scored against them. The game would have been like overtime. He was real confident in his defense. So I definitely like Minshew going against the Cincinnati for a bounce-back game. I think he got some good weapons, and Cincinnati defense is terrible. First, Kirkpatrick, one of the top corners, he's already out, so their defense is really not that good. So I feel like Minshew will have a bounce-back game. And then, that's the plays I like for quarterback. You got 4,800, sleeper play Ryan Tannehill. They bench Mariota. Do not see why. I don't think Tannehill's the answer, but at the end of the day, it's the Tennessee Titans. Okay, also at the quarterback position, I'm going to go lock in Jared Goff. Boom. At the running back position, you got a lot of good options. Barkley will be back from injury. He already said he's going to get his full workload. He's not taking no break or nothing, so I definitely like him at 8,900 for the price tag going against Arizona defense. And the guy that I definitely like a lot, I like Delvin Cook, man, averaging 24.9 fantasy points a game. He's getting around 18 times rushes a game, and he's on a 68% snap count right now. He's projected to get 19 fantasy points tomorrow going against Detroit Leavenworth defense overall and get the third most fantasy points to running back. So I definitely like Cook tomorrow. Definitely going to be probably a lot of lineups for me tomorrow. And David Johnson, he's questionable tomorrow. They said he might not play, so if he do not play, Emerson, the other guy, his backup will be a lock. But I definitely like that price tag for David Johnson. Also, Kamara's already ruled out. I know you guys probably scared to go get Murray, but he's going to be good snap tomorrow, good plan tomorrow. They're going to probably use Murray a lot, so I definitely like Murray going against Chicago. They got a good defense, but at the end of the day, Sean Payton's a great coach. And definitely you got Leonard Fournette tomorrow at the price tag 7,000. He's averaging 19.1 fantasy points a game with average of 19.2 rushes a game and also getting about 6 pass targets a game. Going against Cincinnati, fifth worst defense overall, give up the second most rushing yards to running backs. So keep in mind, man, Fournette, if they can't get nothing going with the pass, Fournette will get 20-plus carries a game. I like him at 7,000. And also, you still got Mark Ingram. I told you guys him and Fournette last week, but Mark Ingram had touches, but it was a committee last week, so it was kind of terrible. At 6,600, he should have a bounce-back game going against Seattle. I just don't know how the game script going to be, if they're going to go, play with a committee approach. I hope not, but, you never know about the coach. And you also got Chris Carson, 6,500. This guy, I think he might be still kind of hurt. With the work he getting, man, I definitely like Carson, man. He getting a lot of workload for tomorrow, getting a whole bunch of carries. Definitely like him. And Marlon Mack, sleeper, 6,000 going against Houston, man. I definitely like him. Good game for him to have a good game tomorrow. Like him a lot. And a running back I definitely want to have exposure to is Melvin Gordon and Derrick Henry in the same game. Melvin Gordon came back last week against Pittsburgh. He was just – the game script was kind of got out of hand, so they kind of left the run alone, got more passing. So Melvin Gordon should have a bounce-back game. Tennessee defense is solid, but at the end of the day, you just don't know which Tennessee Titans defense is going to come up and play. And also, Derrick Henry averaging 18.8 fantasy points a game going against the Chargers. Give up the 8 most fantasy points to running back. You see what last week what your boy did to him, James Conner. He had a pretty good game. And the running back I like at the cheap price, 5,600. Tevin Coleman, he's rushing 34 times, 142 yards, and for the last 2 games, 45% snap count. Definitely like him right now. But between him and Matt Breida, I feel like Tevin Coleman is the more the back they've been using more. I think he's a fantastic play tomorrow against Washington. They're terrible. And also you got Frank Gore and Devin Singletary. Frank Gore 54. Singletary 54. Frank Gore 52. So they're going against the worst defense overall is the Miami Dolphins. So Frank Gore got a 50% snap count. I definitely like Frank Gore, and I think Frank Gore will be more the starter tomorrow. Definitely like Frank Gore. Singletary, I just don't know how he's going to come back. Before he wasn't playing that much anyways before he got hurt. So Frank Gore will be more play I like. And also Devontae Freeman going against the Rams, man. They give up the ninth most fantasy points to running backs. He's averaging 15 fantasy points a game. Last 3 games, 18, 27. Devontae Freeman looked good. He's healthy. He's been huge in the passing game. 5,400, I feel like it's a real cheap price tag for Freeman. And like I told you guys, Latavius Murray, 5,100. He's going to be probably playing a lot tomorrow. Probably get about 25 carries tomorrow. Snap count going to be up with no Kamara. And another guy like Josh Jacobs going against Green Bay, give up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs. Green Bay defense has allowed 5 yards per rush attempts and 26 points a game to running backs. He's averaging 17.6 a game. I definitely like Josh Jacobs in a good matchup against Green Bay. And Mixon going against Jacksonville. If they can somehow establish the run, John Mixon will be a good play. And you also got Jamal Williams. I definitely like him in the passing game with all the injuries to Green Bay top receivers at 4,900. You definitely can play him as your flex position and just play him as a cheap, running back for that price tag. And just keep an eye on David Johnson, Edmondson. Edmonds is 4,700. If that does happen, he gets some clock. And for the running back, I'm going to definitely go with Dalvin Cook. It's my top play for the running back position. And the other running back I'm going to have some exposure to is Leonard Fournette. And the receivers for tomorrow, you got Julio Jones. I like him too, but I just don't know how much he's going to get shadowed tomorrow about Jalen Ramsey. I know they say he will play. I don't really think Jalen Ramsey has been hurt like that. He just didn't want to play for Jacksonville. So at the receiver position, top-notch dogs, 8,000 Julio Jones and Michael Thomas at 7,900. Michael Thomas in a matchup against a tough defense, stingy defense, Chicago Bears. And the guy that I like a lot tomorrow is Cooper Kupp, man, going against the Atlanta. I like their stack. At 7,400, third worst defense overall. Give it the second most fantasy points to receivers. He's averaging 22.3 fantasy points a game, man. Definitely like having him in your lineup tomorrow. Cooper Kupp, he's probably been the top receiver in the league right now, fantasy-wise. He just had a bad game last week. A lot of people were sleeping on San Francisco, but how it looks, their defense looks real. And another guy I like I told you go get Russell Wilson. Definitely have Tyler Lockett, his favorite target, with Will Dissly out for the season with ruptured Achilles. And Stephon Diggs, 6,300. I wasn't really much on him last week. I did have a stack with Cousins, Diggs, and Thielen. Diggs had a real good game. But last few games, Cook hasn't went against a good defense to stop the run. So this week, Diggs probably will have a good game also. But Cook should be back to normal, man. Cook hasn't really did much lately. Been going against tough run-stop defenses. And a guy I like, too, is Larry Fitzgerald. Going against the New York Giants, 4th worst defense overall, give it the 3rd most fantasy points to receivers, 16 points to average. He's averaging right now and getting around 8.7 targets a game. I do like him with Kyler Murray stack in a lineup. And Chalk Jr., I feel like he will have a better game than the last time. And Minshew, if they can get back on the same page at 6,000, I feel like it's a pretty good price tag. My favorite play for tomorrow is going to be T.Y. Hilton. The reason why I like T.Y. Hilton, man, he don't put up numbers against Houston over his career. They're giving up the 6th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Like, think about it. T.Y. Hilton has been a good receiver, man, his whole career. Houston, he have had over 1,000 yards receiving through his games against Houston. And Houston right now has been getting toe up. Like week 1, Michael Thomas, 10 for 123. Week 2, DJ Chark, 7 for 55 and a touchdown. Week 3, Keenan Allen, 13 catches, 183 and 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore, 3 for 44. Julio Jones, 3 for 44. And Tyree Hill, 5 for 80 and 2 touchdowns last week. So that made a lot of sense for, go that direction with T.Y. Hilton. That's why I'm going to have him a lot of exposure. And the same price tag I like too is Robert Woods at 5,900. Robert Woods, man, averaging 13.6 fantasy points a game, getting about 8.5 targets a game. I definitely like Robert Woods. I think he's in a fantastic matchup, man. Him and Cooper Kupp, I like both of those guys. And you got Golden Tate going against Arizona, second worst defense overall, give up the 10 most fantasy points to receivers. He's averaging around 7.5 targets a game. Last game, he got 9 targets. They was like everybody was out last. Ingram was out and Barkley was out, but they're getting everybody back. But I still like the price tag for him at 5,800. Another guy I like too against Minnesota, Kenny Golladay, averaging 18.1 fantasy points a game, 9 targets. And also, he gets 90% snap count right now. The Vikings is giving up 5 touchdowns, 6 most fantasy to receivers who lined up wide. 82.7% of the time, that's Kenny Golladay run his routes. So I definitely like it a lot. Another guy I like too is you want to go do a Josh Allen stack, definitely go get Brown with him. That's definitely want to have them stacked up together. His price tag $5,500, definitely like that. And Brandon Cooks, he always the odd man out. And then the offense, I like Brandon Cooks also. And that guy I like too. Say for instance, if Julio gets shadowed by Jalen Ramsey, you definitely want to look at Ridley. Rams defense has allowed 7 touchdowns to wide receivers who lined out wide. So really in a good matchup. No Marcus Peters no more. He's traded. So, the other corner they have is not that good at all. And a guy that I like too, he's very cheap for the Green Bay Packers. You got Tate too, 4,500. Also like that guy, been playing pretty good. The receiver, one of the other guys to have, I'm gonna play him in the lineups tomorrow, man. He's cheap, as long as he can do something, man. He got a good quarterback. This is my guy right here though, man. For Green Bay, Lazard. 3,000, man. That's a value play because they're going to be without Devontae Adams. He had a pretty good game, man. Aaron Rodgers went up to the coach and said, get him in the game, man. This guy just came out and played pretty good against Detroit last week at 3,000 price tag, and I just feel like it's too cheap to pass up for somebody that's going to get targets from Aaron Rodgers with 2 top receivers out. And for the receiver position, I'm going to go lock in Cooper Kupp, 7,400. And then the other receiver I'm going to go get is, I'm going to be cheap, man, have a balanced lineup. I'm going to get the guy I was talking about, too. I'm going to throw him in my lineup. T.Y. Hilton. In the tight end position, the tight end is very interested this week. Usually, when tight ends go against Arizona, their price tag is so cheap. Like at Everett Ingram is $6,500. I like the price tag, but $6,500, I feel like it's kind of steep for him, man. But tight ends have been having career games against Arizona. And you got Austin Hooper at 5,300. I'm going against the Rams, 13th worst defense overall, give up the 10th most fantasy points to tight ends, averages 19.3 fantasy points a game, 8.3 targets a game, 81% snap count. Austin Hooper, definitely like him too tomorrow. And Mark Andrews going against Seattle to give up the 3rd most fantasy points to tight ends, definitely like him a lot. You got Waller going back 4,700. The guy been playing pretty good against Green Bay. Green Bay defense do not scare me. And Jimmy Graham at 4,200. It's a lot of injuries tomorrow. Maybe Jimmy Graham will have a good game. It's just been, he looked bad, man. Like last 3 years, Jimmy Graham looked slow. He don't look like the Jimmy Graham that was in New Orleans. 7th worst defense overall. They give it the 5th most fantasy points to tight ends. If you want to throw him in your lineup, probably not playing no Jimmy Graham. But the guy I'm going back with $4,000 price tag on DraftKings is Hunter Henry. averaging 21.5 fantasy points a game and 9 targets last game. Going against the Titans, give it the sixth most fantasy points to tight end. He had played 73% of snap count last week at 4,000. I feel like it's a good price tag. You got Everett played 60% of the snaps last game and going against Atlanta, give it the nice most fantasy points to tight ends. Definitely like him a lot. And you still got Huckerson, 3,600 when against Minnesota. The guys missed some touchdowns last week. He dropped some passes. And the two tight ends I like for Houston Texans, man. You got Atkins, you got Fields. Both of those guys, man. Fields 71% snap count and Atkins 61% snap count, man. Houston Texans has really been dependent on their tight ends a lot, man. They both been getting production, like both of those guys in your line at 3,200. That's just pump plays. You want to go the direction. And Luke Wilson, with no Will Dissly, you got Luke Wilson at 3,000, man. Definitely a good price tag for him. But the tight end I'm gonna play, I'm gonna go get Hunter Henry. And for the flex position, I got about 8,500 to play with. The flex position, I'm going to go with a running back. I always like playing running backs. Tevin Coleman, I like him going against Washington. With 2,900 left, a defense that I like is the Saints defense. And this is a lineup that I'm going to play tomorrow, man. Hopefully these are helpful. The Saints defense is Mr. Trubisky. Possibly he come back, and Chase Daniels was terrible. So I definitely like the Saints defense tomorrow going against them. I'm going to give you another build that I like too. It's going to be a quick build. For the quarterback, I'm going to go get Jacoby Brissett, liked him a lot. And for the running back position, I like Derrick Henry for like a rebound game. And I'm going to be cheap at the running back. I feel like he's in a fantastic matchup. Jacobs and the wide receiver, I'm going to go with too. I'm going to still go with T.Y. Hilton, man. That's probably my favorite play. T.Y. Hilton, I'm going to go get Ridley. And I'm going to go get Chark Jr. at 6,000. You always can pivot to go get these other guys and stuff. The tight end I'm going to go get is Andrews, 4,900. And for the flex, Dalvin Cook. And for the defense, 3,500. Really can go get any defense you like. You got Jacksonville Jaguars defense at 3,500. And you still got the Buffalo. I didn't mention this, Buffalo Bills defense. Going against Miami. Miami's giving up 4.6 sacks per game. Turned the ball over 11 times already. Definitely like those defenses. You got San Francisco, 4,100. Washington has turned the ball over 11 times already. Like Buffalo, Washington. I like a Buffalo defense. I like San Francisco defense. And Jacksonville defense is a punt play. I like them too at 3,500. The main defense I'm going to have is going to be probably the Saints defense. You still got Seattle with the 12th man playing at home. You can't sleep on them. They always come to play. But I'm gonna punt with Jacksonville, man. This is the second quarter I'm rocking with. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you guys. And you like the video, you like the content, subscribe to my channel, like my page. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Greatness on Twitter. And if everything's been said, until next time, I'm out. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. Until next time, I'm out. Good luck.